actually need to plug your microphone in real quick. All right. And we're... oh, okay.
Is there
got
echo?
a little delay. This is TV's on. There we go.
Nice.
All right. Another edition of our MMA show.
What's up?
Number 6. I did
Number
I did
six.
the super depressing BJ Penn episode with nobody wanted to bite on that as a guest. They're like, no, who wants to watch BJ Penn's? I didn't even watch all of them. Watch all the highlights.
What might have been cool though from doing that is getting to see Frankie, considering
Yeah.
tomorrow night.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what do you?
Mini Frankie study.
I got a really good friend that, and I don't agree with this, but he says that Frankie's getting finished for the first time, and I'm like, dude.
Well, why would he say that?
I don't know.
You don't know? He didn't explain it?
I mean, he's just like,
Frankie's getting
bro,
finished.
Brian Ortega, he's the next, blah, blah, blah.
You can't say stuff like that. I hate it when people say that. It'd be like, oh, he's going to get knocked out. And it's like, but why? Like, you have to justify it. I never say something like that without being like, because, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Frankie's been through some wars, dude. UFC 144, when Benson Henderson upkicked him in the face, I have seen that fight like 10 times. And that's the first time they fought. But I don't know. Do you remember that?
Benson Henderson versus Frankie.
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
They fought twice, actually, and Frankie lost both times.
Huh.
Yeah, this is before he moved down. This is at 155.
Yeah, 155.
So I got to show you this upkick real quick while we're talking about it. But Frankie has been through some wars, dude. I mean, so there's that. So he's the veteran. He's been through all these wars, all these decisions, like the 2 fights with BJ Penn. Those are, 3 fights with BJ Penn where he finished him in the 3rd fight.
Those weren't much of wars, though. Maybe the first one, right? But
the first couple of fights were, not really war. What I'm saying is, like, between the 2 Frankie Edgar fights, the Nick Diaz fight, and the Roy McDonald fight, he took a lot of damage, right?
Yeah.
BJ Penn, that is.
BJ Penn, yeah.
But like Frankie Edgar took a decent amount of damage in the BJ Penn fights, and then the 2 Benson Henderson fights, and then the 3 Gray Maynard fights.
Yeah, I remember him getting rocked a lot of times.
And then Jose Aldo.
Big
so
time.
he's fought, like, I think, hasn't Frankie fought like more minutes in the octagon than like anybody on earth or something?
He's got to be up there. Him, Michael Bisping. Oh.
Sadly. I'm gonna do I want to do these like little mini episodes where I just like somebody like Michael Bisping. These guys that getting a lot of mileage on them. I'm trying to see if there's a little clip on this on YouTube. So, dude, I signed up for a podcasting masterclass.
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah, dude.
Where, is this like a thing you go to or online thing?
It's online. It was it's Adam Carolla. You ever watch The Man Show or Love Line?
Yeah, I saw The Man Show. It's the other dude, not Joe Rogan.
I think he was on. I could be wrong about this, but I think he was on the Man Show with Jimmy Kimmel. It's like Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla, or
yeah.
But yeah, then Joe Rogan was on after that. Later, I don't
really
my
time, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, this is back in the day. But then, like, Adam Carolla is also on this show on MTV called Love Line back in the day. Then he had a radio show, but then he had like I think before Joe Rogan even got into podcasting, he had like the #1 podcast in the world, and then he got sued. So,
but he's a comedian, though, right?
He is. He's
like
acted in movies. He's pretty legit and a funny dude. I'm trying to find just a shot of this upkick, man, because it's a total fight changer when it happens. But so Frankie Edgar's been through a lot of wars, and
yeah, for sure.
What do you think that's going to have an impact versus Ortega?
No. If
So
Ortega wins, it's going to be from a submission, I think. I don't think he's going to
do anything crazy.
He's not going to be able to,
like Yair Rodriguez did to BJ Penn.
Yeah, and really, I can't think of a time I've seen Frankie get clipped with a big shot that kind of rocked him since, I don't know, maybe Jose Aldo, a while back.
I mean, really, he's like everywhere and nowhere. He's like an oscillating particle with his freaking footwork, dude. He's just constantly feeding people angles and different looks. Just do.
Yeah, I was looking at a lot of his stuff recently.
Yeah.
Cool fighter.
Dude,
Really cool fighter.
I would love to see him fight like some other people with like crazy footwork, like super fights like Dominic Cruz or something.
I want to tell Tim, like watch Frankie Edgar because he does a lot of Tim's movement with the.
I'm working with Tim.
Peekaboo when he closes the distance by using the head movement and putting the guard up, slipping inside, and then coming in. Weird that Tim uses it because he's tall and skinny. Frankie Edgar's a short dude, but Tim still uses it.
Do you know
that Mike Tyson
Customato had a welterweight fighter, I believe it was Floyd Patterson, and he was sort of Tim's build, not as tall, but we've worked an incessant amount on that peekaboo style, like across the board. But that's not all, because I don't like him shelling because he has such a long reach, you know.
Well, it's let's talk about that for a second. Tim, it's like really, he does that to me all the time, and I still, I've sparred with Tim now countless times, and I still haven't figured the damn thing out. Like, it's like, but when I get uncomfortable with something, I'll slip on the clinch, and I do that with Tim all the time. I know you see it, but I'm like, I'm trying to not do that with him.
No. I mean, it's good for him to be grabbed. I mean, Albert was grabbing him the other day.
Yeah, I grab the shit out of him when he does it, because in MMA, I'll grab people on their knees, punches. But ever since the dude said something to me, I've been kind of trying to stay off.
Sergeant Surratt. Yeah. Okay. Here's a little clip of this up kick. So, boom. Like when Frankie comes up from that, he
What was Frankie trying to do there?
He was just like in the.
Was he standing like with his hands in his feet,
trying
to come down with a punch?
I mean, and we can watch the whole fight if you want. It's good. I love watching it because Frankie puts on a freaking.
Yeah, he was trying to post
kick
up.
Catching seminar. Like he catches like 13 of Benson Henderson's kicks. It's insane. I've never seen that many kicks get caught in a fight.
Yeah, strange that he would be able to do it with Benson because he usually.
Well, so I think, and I don't know on chronologically, but you remember we talked about this when Benson Henderson fought Nate Diaz, and he was like jabbing that thigh and like destroying Nate's leg, and that's why he won. Yeah. Dude, and how sad is it that Ben Henderson is just like on his way out, dude?
I don't know.
Dude, he's got a losing record in Bellator.
He does.
It's so
really
sad.
Weird.
What the hell is going on?
I thought he would go to Bellator and just start wrecking house, but
I did too.
Maybe it's I was gonna say post USADA, but Bellator, free game, Wild West over there. So I'm sure it's not that.
Have you been getting all of the Chuck Tito propaganda I've been tagging you in on Facebook?
Yeah, I've been getting it. I did see where Dana was like, I'm not going to be having that.
That's why it's going to happen in Bellator.
Chuck is 50. Is Chuck really 50, though, or is he exaggerating?
I mean, he's got to be pushing it. Let me pull it up real quick. I'm going to pull up the UFC 222 card anyway.
Why does it seem like Tito would win now? I keep thinking Tito was going to kill Chuck, but then, Chuck destroyed him every other time they fought. he
Chucky.
Put it on him, man, with them long straights. I couldn't handle it.
Dude, I like... what do you think about Glover Teixeira? I don't think about him. Because he's like a Chuck Liddell and John Hackelman protege.
Yeah, but he doesn't fight like Chuck Liddell, though. He fights more closer range.
How old is Chuck? 25 pounds, 48 years old.
How old's Tito?
Tito's got to be in his earlier 30s, but this is the circus, man. This is like The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke.
Hadn't seen it. Was that a movie?
Dude, you gotta watch it. You like Mickey Rourke? You know who Mickey Rourke is? You ever seen the movie Sin City?
Nope.
Oh, okay. 43. Tito's 43. Well, Sin City, Frank Miller, like the graphic novel, the same guy that did 300.
Yeah, I know of
It's
the movie.
super good. Quentin
I've seen
Tarantino was like a producer on it, or like a co-director or something. It's really freaking good. The sequel, I think, is on, or maybe it's a prequel. I didn't really get into it, but the very first Sin City is badass. Okay, so Frankie Edgar versus Brian Ortega. So you got Edgar on what method?
Well, I wouldn't say I have Edgar. I just said I don't think what's his name is gonna
Like TKO and RKO?
Yeah. I guess I do have Edgar. I can see way more ways of Edgar finishing the fight than I can Ortega. It seems like Ortega might be able to catch him.
Ortega has 7 submissions. In his fights in the UFC, his very first fight was a no contest. Originally submission or naked choke win for Ortega. Overturned because he tested positive for steroids.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then he beat Thiago Tavares TKO. Then he submitted Diego Brandao. They were talking about that on Joe Rogan the other day, I believe. Then he KO'd Clay Guida with a knee, and then he had 2 guillotine wins. So,
and then, what's his name? Cub Swanson was one of the guillotines.
Cub.
Yeah. I just see so many more ways. Frankie could win the fight decision by just kind of boxing him up standing, and then I think Frankie can win the fight with ground and pound, or decision, just kind of ground and pounding the whole time. So unless Ortega is able to submit him, that's his only hope of winning that fight.
Let's discuss Frankie's battles. I mean, we got outside of the UFC, he did have a win over Jim Miller. And then his first fight in the UFC was against Tyson Griffin. You remember Tyson Griffin when he was like on top? I used to love watching that guy fight. Let's see. Then he's got next big thing is when he lost that decision to Gray Maynard. And then he comes back. He beats Hermes Franca and Sean Shirk, the Muscle Shark.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I used to love Sean Shirk, and I got to train with Sean Shirk, and it was awesome. Like one of the best seminars ever.
Yeah, he wasn't one of the guys I ever looked at all that much.
What he was like so good at was like boxing to takedowns. That's like the number one thing I took away from his seminar was like, here's how I'm going to set up like this level change system on you to where I'm doing these punches to the head to take you down, and then I'll start doing sets to the body to take you down. So he had like all these little series of like.
Was it similar to like a Frankie style?
Because
the way you described it sounds like Frankie, but I mean, I can't remember one Sean Shirk fight.
That's what I kind of like. I feel like Team Alpha Male has this same little system going on. So,
Team Alpha Male, I was
like a boxing to wrestling, like a punch, punching to wrestling. Like is a phase change in the MMA game. Like so, like. Or a range change, however you want to think about it. So, like whether you're setting up a clinch or a shot, like I feel like Team Alpha Male's got strong boxing to wrestling, and I feel the same way about Frankie and in their own way, and Sean Shirk. But Sean Shirk, I think Frankie's maybe even a little more evolved than Sean Shirk, honestly, because Sean Shirk's been out of the game for a while.
Frankie definitely is, man.
Dude, when I trained with Sean Shirk, I think he was 38, and now he's 44. So that was a while ago, dude.
I can't think of a dude that's been fighting at the highest level for a longer period of time than Frankie. Maybe Michael Bisping. That's it.
So you don't think it's possible that this could be the fight that Frankie shits out on?
What do you mean shits out? Like,
dude, when you get this long into the game and you got these 3 losses in a row two to Benson Henderson, then you lose to Jose, then you get in 2 more decisions and 5 more total fights, then you lose to Jose, then you decision Jeremy Stevens, taking some damage to the brain in that fight for sure. So, like, at what point does cumulative brain damage from all of practices and the X number of fights just inside the UFC for someone like Frankie, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 fights in the UFC?
Well, who was his last fight against?
Yair Rodriguez.
Okay,
And he TKO'd him, which that's super fucking impressive.
We seen.
Did you see Yair PJ Penn?
Yeah, that was sad. But Frankie hasn't lost any like cognitive ability. You still hear him talk. He's super smart, super cool. Like he doesn't seem like his brain is on the decline. He still fights smart. He still looks as fast and as strong as ever. He ain't gonna be this fight where he goes down.
Did you watch the X Games when you were a kid?
A little bit.
BMX?
Nah, I was a skateboarder, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite person?
I don't know. Eric Costa. I remember him being pretty cool.
Dude, you ever heard of a guy named Christian Hosoi?
No.
He's the guy that invented the technique, the Christ stare, where you like take your board and you do this and then you go back down. Dude, there is a great documentary about him.
I was into skateboarding for a while, so there's like specific.
Yeah, I was too until I fell off the skateboard in my grandma's driveway, and then I was like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
PJ Ladd was one of my favorites too.
I was more into BMX, like Matt Hoffman and Ryan Nyquist and Dave Mira, who acted totally normal until he committed suicide in the driveway of his friend's house or some crazy shit.
Yeah, I heard something about that. That's a weird story with him.
Yeah, because he had all of this brain damage.
I wish I'd gotten into BMX when I was a kid.
Dude, I could do like a few trips. I was more into like flatland because there were like no ramps in my town or anything. Like the town like that we live in even has a couple of skate parks. So there used to be an indoor skate park here.
What are you talking about, in Russellville?
Mm-hmm. Like right next to Kroger. There's one a skate park right there, and there's one somewhere else. Yeah,
that's dope.
Or I might be thinking of the indoor one that went out of business.
It was like last year. I sort of got like a skateboarding resurgence. I was
Dude, there's like a half pipe over there. You still have a board?
Tried. No, I don't. But I thought about getting one.
I had a sweet Element board.
Seeing if I still had it.
And I sold it to my friend Brock, who worked at the grocery store with me. Well, Frankie is like at a certain point, like with these fighters, they've had this many fights inside the UFC and fought that many minutes. Like you take somebody like Frankie that has like records for most minutes fought or most number of fights in the UFC or whatever his record is. You got to start thinking about wear and tear, because it's not just fights, it's practice. Like how many years you've been an athlete, you know?
Yeah.
And they are super strict on anti-doping, and I do believe that most fighters dope to help with recovery more than performance enhancing. Yeah. Like especially like with your lighter weight people, you know. But that's just my take on it, and I think it's unregulatable. I don't know if it's a word, but I don't think you can regulate PED usage at this time. Why? Because they can't. They haven't been.
They pop people left and right.
They do, but who are they not popping? Maybe, I mean, do you think it's cleaned up? What about the Olympics?
I don't follow Olympics.
The Russian. Have you seen Icarus?
Oh, yeah, they've been kicking all them out all the time too, haven't they?
Okay.
Right, they got them.
Yeah, but they got him. But before they got him, they were beating every test. Lance Armstrong was tested 500 times. 500. That's blood old and days, piss. Though. Yeah, old days when you getting transfusions just like people can do today. That gets your blood clean.
And UFC fighters ain't got the money or do that shit.
Yeah, I know. I think Jon Jones does, but I just think he has stupid people around him, like his manager. So let's talk about that real quick. So you didn't watch the hearing, did you?
I saw some highlights.
Yeah, I watched the whole damn thing, dude.
I have no idea how that got in my system.
Dude.
Say that. It's like you guys are all smarter than me, and you know how stupid that would be if I would have done that a week before the fight.
Andy Foster, the head of the California State Athletic Commission, said he believed Jon Jones.
Is that the dude? No,
he's fought in MMA and all this.
I've heard a lot of people say they believe Jon Jones.
Do you believe Jon Jones? I don't.
No, not really.
No.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't make sense.
Just say you did it. Just say you did it.
Like he might as well. Huh?
And you know what the hearing, like the commissioners and everyone that was there kept bringing up is they were like, you have this repeated pattern of stuff since you wrapped that Bentley around that telephone pole. Like there was this one commissioner lady that like on into the hearing, like really just started roasting him. It was like after he had already had his thing, and they called up 2 doctors, and one doctor, like, he submitted this study that was like submitted into the evidence or whatever, and he just made a bunch of assumptions, and he was only like, they paid him like 4 hours of labor at like $395 an hour or something, and he's like, well, it was kind of rushed, and but there's apparently no studies on oral Turnaball or whatever,
because isn't that something you would inject? Like,
they kept saying oral. They said, but it could be administered, but with an injection or into like muscle tissue, like intravenously or muscle tissue.
Okay.
So I wonder if it's
but it is active orally, though. It's bioavailable, like.
Yeah, I guess. Huh. So they found a metabolite for that, and like he sent a bunch of supplements to USADA Lab and this Dr. Eichner, and then this other doctor, I don't remember his name, but he was the guy that did the study. And like they're like, we can't tell, we don't know the amount he took, the frequency he took it, or any of the things we need to know to be able to say anything. We can't say anything about whether there was intent. That's what they kept coming back to, is like, was there intent to do this? But then this commissioner lady on the end, she was just like, well, you said, that you sent these many supplements to be tested, but there are this many supplements that you have on this form. And she roasted his ass for like not taking these online trainings about performance enhancing drugs and stuff. And he's like, no, I didn't do that. I just had my manager do it.
What the fuck, John?
I know, dude. Yeah, I know, dude. He is such a turd. I know. Just like zero personal responsibility. And I think really that just the denial, and just like when he says things, he's like, oh, I just, my grace, my heavenly Father.
Yeah, I know. He talks exactly like that.
I'm like, dude, what are you and I mean, it's just like, I like Jon Jones. I think that he's like the greatest mixed martial artist like of our time. And like in terms of his ability, especially striking, and he's got badass wrestling. But it's just tragic that like just the amount of time he's already set on the shelf for the dick pills and the cocaine and what all did he get popped for?
The dick pills, the cocaine, the hit and run.
The hit and run, the Bentley, which is a DWI, drag racing.
And then, yeah, that too. And then, one thing that no one talks about is I remember a couple years ago.
He still takes dick pills, by the way. That came up. I just want.
Oh, yeah. He's like. Yeah. A couple years ago on a drug test they took, it was like his levels looked suspicious. But if you look at the results, you see that his testosterone levels were like super low. Like they were like almost zero. And it's like, dude, that's
why Chael Sonnen says that he was taking the.
Dead giveaway. He was in like, suppression mode after taking a cycle and hadn't PCT'd yet. So, I mean, that's basically busted right there. I mean, you can't say, oh, you took something because your testosterone's low, but...
Motherfucker.
Yeah, little shit's been doing it this whole time.
Man. I think he's guilty, and I think that he's just got poor advisors around him and management. I think that he's got a great team, but dude, it's just like that's so unfortunate for Greg Jackson and Mike Winklejohn.
I always wonder what kind of role they play in all this, because they seem like such honest people, like stand-up guys that are want to be good for the sport.
I mean,
are they like, John, what the hell, like all the time, or are they just like, that's John's shit, let him deal with it?
I know, right? I wonder. I've trained with both those guys
too.
It does, and it makes it look bad with how they respond. Honestly, because they just kind of like, oh yeah, we hate this, but it's kind of like what you said. It's just like, well, that's John's thing, and
yeah, they don't say much about it.
Like at a certain point, you would think that coaches would be like, get the fuck out of here, like
yeah. I kind of feel like if I was them, I would have sent his ass packing, like just off principle. That's like, bro, you need to get out of here. Clean your shit up. You're not gonna be representing my gym no more.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate. Like you just can't. Like that time that Damon and Judah just didn't show up. You just can't control people. It's ridiculous.
Fucking wild.
Let's see. Kat Zingano's coming back. She's on the main card. Has she fought since?
Hadn't seen her fight in a long time.
Yeah, she hadn't fought since 2016. Like, her husband committed suicide. I think we talked about that on one of the podcasts briefly, because I remember we talked about some of the fights on this card because it was coming up. We talked about then we talked about the Emmett Stevens and let's see, Stefan Struve, Andrei Arlovsky, heavyweight.
Yeah.
Stefan Struve's on a little bit of a tear, isn't he? No, he just lost to Volkov, who's fighting Verdum next on the next card after this.
Still, they're a good matchup for each other.
He had 2 wins in 2016, and he had a loss in 2017. It's fight of the night, though. Stefan Struve, man, what a freaking skyscraper.
Yeah, he's huge.
That's his name, isn't it? Skyscraper Struve.
He made Andrei Arlovsky look
7 foot tall, 264 pounds, dude.
Seen him next to, what's the dude that Stipe just lit up? Ngannou. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Made Ngannou look small.
Who do you think Ngannou's going to fight next? We talked about this briefly, but I'm just like, who's he going to fight? Who's he going to fight?
You know, a really cool matchup for him I would love to see is Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis just won against.
Yeah. What about who are some other people in the mix that you might like to see? Like maybe Mark Hunt.
Mark Hunt they both came off losses. Mark Hunt lost to Blades. Yeah, I guess that would make kind of sense.
Ngannou beat Blades. What about, and then like,
I want to see him fight Derek Lewis, no one else.
Like, okay, I mean, I would be down for that.
Derek Lewis, you hear Derek Lewis talking mad shit.
Do you think, do you think Derek Lewis is going to be the guy that fights the winner of Stipe and Cormier?
Probably not. Is he?
How long until UFC 223?
He's ranked high, but I don't think he's ranked high enough to get a title shot.
Let's see. April 7th is UFC 223. So let's see. Let's see what he's ranked at then. No, that is not the Derek Lewis we're looking for.
Derek Lewis, one of those guys that he gets so many wins after he just looks like complete garbage of a fighter.
Yeah.
When he fights, he just looks terrible. And I'm like, but how this dude just keeps...
So he lost to Mark Hunt before that.
Who did?
Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis did.
Yeah.
How'd that happen? Was it a decision? Or?
TKO in the 4th round.
Oh.
In New Zealand. Then, let's see. Then he got a win. But he's only lost to Sean Jordan and Matt Mitrione inside the UFC. He had another loss to Sean Jordan like early in his career, and then a loss in Bellator, a no contest for headbutting, or no, punches to the back of the head. But Mitrione, Sean Jordan in the UFC, and then he went on a 6-fight win streak, and then lost to Mark Hunt, and then he beat Tabura. So, yeah. So, Curtis Blades. Man, what would have happened if that dude's face wouldn't have got like turned into tenderized meat?
He probably would have won. I don't know. It was already midway through the 2nd round. It was close, but I think he was kind of losing. But I would love to see the rematch of him and Ngannou eventually.
Yeah, me too.
It kind of seems like one of those things that's bound to happen too.
So, Blades is expected to face Overeem next.
And did you notice how he looked like when he fought Ngannou? He was pretty chubby. And
yeah, he is. He's kind of coming into his own.
Showed up for Mark Hunt looking shredded, jacked. Yeah, he's going to be good. I think he's going to be up there soon. We'll see him fighting Ngannou again, I'm sure.
Did you see that article it could just be a bunch of hearsay, but that I shared on Facebook about... So I've been wondering, like UFC on Fox has not been renewed. So now we just have UFC fight nights and UFC pay-per-views once they stop showing fights on Fox. So, rumor has it that Fox is looking at picking up WWE in place of the UFC.
Like in place of their combat sports crowd?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that would be lame, I guess.
Entertainment, sports entertainment, I guess.
Don't give a shit about WWE.
Yeah, most people, we don't. Most people we know don't, but I guess a lot of people do.
Yeah, I guess so. I keep hearing about them. Like,
they come to Little Rock like every year.
Still a thing. I liked it in like 5th grade when it was cool for like 6 months.
Dude, WCW, bro, NWO Wolfpack, Sting,
whatever that means.
Yeah. So back to the fighting. Anyway, let's see here. So I skipped forward to UFC 225 somehow. That's what they're saying. Curtis Blades expected to fight Overeem, man. So Derek Lewis, what's next for him?
Ngannou.
Yeah. Do you think that's gonna? Is there any chatter about that out there? Do you read it anywhere on the internet?
None other than what Derek Lewis is saying.
Yeah.
And not that he's saying he's gonna get the fight, just that he wants the fight, and that he thinks Ngannou's a scrub. He's just talking shit.
Yeah. Well, that's what you got to do to get a fight these days.
Yeah, he's been talking shit. How about Colby Covington? That dude's just pissing everyone off.
Yeah.
He caught me when he did the little Brazil's a fucking dump, bunch of filthy animals. He caught me there, and I was like, all right, this dude's pretty cool. He's just saying whatever.
He's following the Shale Sonnen model.
But then, as he kept going over the weeks and months, and now it's gone too far, I'm like, dude, just shut up now.
Dude, I mean, and I just think that some of that shit is just like clickbait, entertainment.
Called Mike Perry's girlfriend on horse-faced or whatever, and everyone's like, oh, you can't talk about a dude's girl now. He's like, fuck him.
Weird. Super weird.
Yeah, do you ever follow Mike Perry at all?
Nah.
You know all the stuff about him?
Not really. I mean, I have a little bit, but like he's not one of my favorite fighters or anything.
I mean, I really liked him coming in. I was on the Mike Perry hype train, but then I saw that he's not very good. And he's just getting beat. Got beat by Ponzinibbio and then got beat by some dude I never even heard of last weekend.
Max Griffin.
Yeah.
Let's see about Mr. Max Griffin.
Colby Covington's like, that's what you get when you have your girlfriend as your head coach.
Oh, damn. This Max Griffin guy lost to Colby Covington. And some guy named Chidi Nuwani. That's not inside the UFC, though. He's only had 4 fights in the UFC. He's 2-2 in the UFC.
Yeah, what I'm seeing with Mike Perry is something I was going to ask you about. Is there's a lot of these guys, even at the highest level, like professional fighters, that fight a certain way, and they never like change the way they fight. What's up with that? How come people can't just change the way they fight?
Like, what do you mean in like regards to Mike Perry? Like
Mike Perry, he hasn't had enough time to really try to. But there's certain people, like you say, like Jose Aldo, for example.
Yeah, why don't they evolve?
Yeah, it's like it doesn't work.
I think it's because their coaching staff is not evolving or is not evolved.
Or Luke Rockhold, he's been fighting the same way for 5-7 years now. Doesn't change anything.
So yeah, I think this will segue very nicely into this. So Justin Bucholz leaving Team Alpha Male. So he's been their head coach since, and I think even before Dwayne Ludwig. So Dwayne Ludwig comes in, creates some division in the leadership of their team. But also during the same time, you have Uriah Faber retiring and taking a more leadership role on the team.
Yeah,
and
seems like
them butting heads, and I know you've probably seen both of those Joe Rogans with it's like Dwayne and TJ, and then it's Cody and Uriah.
I saw those.
And you just watch them; they're like great little companions. It's like heads and tails. Mm-hmm. But I think that has a lot to do with it. I think that like Justin Bucholz was. They moved him into striking coach, and like they're I guess running a lot more coaches with their model. But and maybe that's for the positive, or maybe it's because Uriah Faber is,
So you're saying that now, Team Alpha Male is putting their model is to have lots of different coaches, like a coach for striking, a coach for wrestling, a BJJ coach, and then all different dudes.
It kind of seems like that's what they're doing, yeah. But and then I guess probably Uriah Faber is acting as the head coach role.
Yeah, he seems like he is. Like in all the videos
So,
or anything I see.
So an argument could be made that Uriah Faber is possibly what ousted Dwayne, TJ, and Justin Bucholz.
Yeah, it's definitely adding up to look like that. You got and then maybe Justin Bucholz. I don't know how he became head coach of Team Alpha Male, but they're just competing personalities. And then it seems like there's a lot of jealousy going on there too, with like who's friends with who. They're, Team Alpha Male X, or TJ became friends with Dwayne. Faber got jealous. Like, what the fuck is this? You're supposed to be my boy.
Yeah.
And then,
well, so that brings on an interesting concept. The concept of loyalty in martial arts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so like
that is an interesting concept.
There's like the far extreme side of like what Hickson and a lot of the Gracies call a crianche. Have you heard about that?
No.
It's like basically someone that just floats around from gym to gym and never really like has a home gym or pays any dues. And it's not because they're traveling. It's just because like they're not gonna like they don't want to be tied down or whatever.
Yeah.
Like and I'm all about cross training with like super good, like nice people that are somewhat like minded. But sadly too, there's this like, and sadly, let me reiterate, there's like a martial arts politics side, even in like your modern, like, cause all we do is boxing, kickboxing, judo, jiu-jitsu, and MMA. And people like, so you get people that like train down the street that want to come over and cross train and roll with your guys. And then you might, because like smaller states, smaller towns, you're going to meet them in the tournament down the street also,
Yeah.
So there's some conflicts of interest there, or it's just like smaller geographic centers. It's like we have this issue, for example. It's like we just keep our heads down, do our thing, and we have lots of students. It's a great time. But like some people just talk shit about you, and you can't do anything about it. So then it's like, well, now it's a problem of your instructors talking shit. So why are you coming here? Because he sent you. So are you dojo storming me right now? Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, there's this martial arts loyalty side, and like, so I'm extremely loyal to my coaches. Like, I actually, like, my head coach married Cora and I. He's like, I was like, hey, we don't really want to get a minister to marry us. We want to, like, somebody who's been a constant in our lives the whole time we've known each other is that guy. And so he was like, oh, let me get my online.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah, right. So it was like, it made it that much better. That's
cool.
And then like literally all my other coaches were either groomsmen or at the wedding. So it's like it's just because that's like who I've spent all my time with over the years. Because like it's like I've traveled a lot and trained with other coaches too, but like within our state, which is a smaller state for martial arts, if I'm going to train with somebody, I'm just going to train with those guys.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So you think loyalty? You should stay loyal forever.
Well, I think there's exceptions. Like, that's the thing. It's
Someone
like
pisses you off. Then
well, here's the thing. As a coach, you cannot have anything to do with someone's de-evolution, I guess is the way to put it. Like, you can't ever stand in the way of anybody. Like, it's like there's going to come a time pretty soon that Tim is probably going to supersede me in boxing skill.
Yeah.
So, like, if we were to spar, he'd probably just beat my ass, right?
Right.
I'll still get my shots in. It'll still be competitive as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But like, so right now, I can still best him if I want, right?
Yeah.
But every time we spar, he lands a little more. I mean,
for sure.
It's like, and he's getting more and more, and I'm getting further away from my prime. But there's a skill, and so I'm always evolving my game. I'm always trying to do seminars, or cross train, or study, watch film, watch fights, watch tape, do MMA podcast and talk about shit, train myself. And I've been consistent with that the whole time I've been either owning a school or training, because I haven't always been a coach. But like, it's like, the thing is he still needs a coach, and it's like, it's my obligation to get better as a coach.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you don't get that. People like get settled into this groove. Well, like me, I'm not ever going to be happy with the amount of shit that I fucking know.
Yeah.
That's why I have a master's degree and will end up getting a PhD. That's why I have a multi-art black belt and am getting promoted to black belt like March 24th or whatever in jiu-jitsu.
Oh, shit.
So, but I've been training 11 and a half years.
Yeah.
So it's like, the time is coming. It's like I just got my judo belt last year. My judo shodan, first degree black belt in judo. So, and I've always done the things we've done. I've done boxing more seriously since 2013. But the thing is like I think there do need to be specialist coaches, and that may be, create division. But not so like, I don't think I have an attitude as a owner. So let's say if Uriah Faber's the owner, which I get the gist that he's like the primary owner.
Yeah.
So, and he's got, I think he owns like a stock, or even owns a UFC gym as well. Maybe multiples.
Yeah.
So like some UFC fighters bought in on that. But see, I have it's more like, hey, yeah, do this. You teach MMA class on Saturdays. Go for it. Albert or Danny coming in to help out with boxing. 2 pros, they're boxing specialists, or Surratt. It's like, no, please teach them what you know or what I don't know, and then I'll steal what you teach them, and then I'll teach it to other people, and then they'll teach it to other people, and we're gonna start doing this. Mm-hmm. So like, I have that like attitude to always like implement. It's like so hard to do a curriculum, A, because there's so many techniques, and B, because things are always changing. Like, no one ever thought that there would be spinning heel kick knockouts in the UFC on a somewhat regular basis.
Yeah.
I mean, Uriah Hall, Edson Barbosa twice, Titor Belfort. But, like, I remember someone telling me 8 years ago, when MMA was not evolved as it is now, that's like, that's a 1 in a million.
I heard that, yeah. Someone said that, and then like it was sort of like after that, all of a sudden.
It's not. It's and I just think like the Machida or the Anderson Silva front kicks knockouts. It's like thing, and like the JKD, like, because a lot of Jon Jones's kicking style comes from like is also in JKD or Filipino martial arts. So, like, that's another side of it I go into, is, like, having my history background is, like, just knowing the martial arts history side, that the low-line kicking drills that Jon Jones is using come from the Filipino martial art Panab Jokman. Bro.
But he knows his shit.
You got to get on that level as a coach.
Yeah.
I think.
Always learning. You got to always evolve.
Exactly.
You got to evolve with your fighters.
So, Greg Jackson hadn't put out a new book. So that's the issue.
I completely agree. That is the issue.
You got to evolve your stuff, and you do that through a variety of methods, cross-training, like studying martial arts. Not as a like, I don't just look at it as a practitioner anymore. Like, and I never really have because of the history background, but I just feel like practitioners get like stylistically biased. It's like I have books on everything from karate, taekwondo, aikido. I've spent hours watching Morihei Yoshiba do aikido, Freaking ladybugs, man. I got rid of I thought all of them. I thought they were all gone. Japanese lady beetles.
Yeah. See them on the mats at the gym.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's
Only on the one near the
they've invaded.
windows.
They've invaded this guy. We mentioned him on the Rob McCormick podcast, but this guy we know named Billy Reeder. I mean, he had a full-on infestation. I probably sucked like a couple of thousand of them up in my shop vac from my kitchen alone, dude. It was horrible.
Oh, that's weird. I didn't see him in my apartment.
Yeah, lucky.
I know.
Yeah.
The one in Atlanta they were like all over the place.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Apparently, they were like genetically engineered in some lab to combat some issue, and they got out of control, like starlings, or what's another thing? Kudzu. Those are a couple of things that I've been talking about. That things that are plants that aren't supposed to be here that have gotten out of control. So yeah.
So back to the original question about fighters changing their style. You think it's because they're coaching?
Well, I think it's because I think you get like Nova and Yao, for example, with Andre Pederneiras and Wendell Alexander. I think that Andre Pederneiras gets close to retirement, and he's like still is very directly involved in the careers of Jose Aldo and Renan Barão.
Yeah,
and there's a serious correlation between Andre retiring and becoming less involved in the deterioration of Nova and Yao as an association in jiu-jitsu. All of their first generation black belts, Robson Mora, Bruno Bastos, Vitor Shaolin Ribeiro, did I say Robson Mora? They all left. They all just were like, boom, we're getting our black belts from other people now. We're starting our own association. So, like, we were Nova and Yao for years. And it was just all this weird political shit that you like. And it's like, hey, every school, like, so I kind of opened my school because my instructor moved to Northwest Arkansas. And it was just like, well, so I was under them and just getting my rank. I was like fucking blue belt. And they're like, well, he has to pay $150 a month or he can't wear our patches. Like stuff like that. So it'd be like, oh, okay, I'll just cut these patches off I've had on the entire time I've been training on my gi that my instructor sold me. Because my coach, his first 3 certificates for first, second, third degree black belt are signed by Andre Pederneiras. And Nova and Yao is totally deteriorated. They have Gustavo Dantas in Tempe, Arizona. So Nova and Yao is who Renan Barão and Jose Aldo, even in Brazil, their biggest gym, Nova and Yao Upper and the Camorra gym have split. It's crazy. But so I think there's a correlation between either coaches retiring, coaches not evolving, and whether it's Greg Jackson, who's never had a fight in his life, or Matt Hume, who has this incredible career that's like Demetrius Johnson's coach.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's all on just due diligence. But like the whole loyalty thing is like Hicks and Gracie's like, nah, if you go train over there, you just don't come back here. And like, I'm not that way about it. Like, I encourage people to go cross train, but unfortunately, there are people out there who are assholes, and it's maybe like 10% of gyms. I don't know, maybe 3%.
Yeah.
But there's at least a couple of gyms in this state that it's like, I just wouldn't go there, and I wouldn't want any of my people to go there either, honestly. Just for a multitude of reasons. But that's a rarity. And I'm sure there's gyms like that in every state. You ever been to like a toxic gym or a bad gym?
Not really. Most of them have been pretty good. Like,
that's good.
I haven't had much experience with guys that are like, fuck you if you go somewhere else. Maybe a little bit. It depends on like personal relationships. Sometimes there's personal rivals at gyms that can mess stuff up a little bit.
I think too, it just like a little bit of our view and issue here and where we're at in the Arkansas River Valley is that there's so few gyms in the state. It's like, I tell people this frequently, like my first coach and my coach, who's now a black belt, but like Caleb, he owns Inferno that we're talking about, I think, before the podcast, but he was when he had his blue belt, it's like he was the only blue belt I knew. There were not like a vast amount of programs in the state. And at the time that I got my blue belt, I think there were only 5 jiu-jitsu black belts in the entire state. I think there's over 20 now. But like, so we'll have our team promotions in March, and there'll be 4 people promoted, but one of them's from out of state. So that's he's from Louisiana. But so we have Team LDMA gyms in Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee, and several in Arkansas. And I feel like I'm forgetting somewhere. Anyway. But so like I said, I mean, there's other people I train with in the state that aren't on the team. You know, it's not like that. But like I'm talking, like, so you have a town with 25,000 people and 5 gyms. You know, and it's like I said, like we never, as owners or as coaches, we're never like talking shit about those gyms. But every single one of those fucking gyms has run their mouth about us in one way or another. Really? Taking pictures from kids' birthday parties and post them on Facebook, calling us frauds or whatever, like crazy shit. So it's like, well, none of your students are welcome to come train here, since that's what we're going to do, throw shit up on Front Street on Facebook. Like crazy shit. And it's just like small town enough that, you know, and it's like that I guarantee you costs that dude more business than anything. And it's like we're not trying to, like, that's why I said we just keep our head down. It's like we're not trying to like put gyms out of business. There have been multiple gyms gone out of business since I've gone into business, and we're like 240 students or something, so it makes sense. Yeah. For like our the number of gyms in our region and stuff. But it's even in the whole state, like it's grown massively since I've been training in the last 11 and a half years or however long it's been. So, but, yeah, wild.
Yeah. So what about that ring? You gonna ever end up putting another ring in your gym?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I was looking over there. Albert. Yeah. Talked about it.
Well, so what happened to your old ring?
We, I rented it to this club in, like on the other side of Searcy, McCrory or McElroy or something. I don't remember the name of the town, but they got a club there, and one of the coaches, a buddy, and he needed a ring, and he didn't want to rent a ring from the only guy that rents rings. And I was just like, hey, buy some accessories. So he bought like rope covers and corner cushions and some new stuff for it. So I'm actually planning our boxing show right now. We're having May 5th.
Oh, the one that's, there. That's cool.
Dude, let me tell you a major downside to that.
What?
I'll just pull it up real quick. So this is your first year living in Arkansas, huh?
Yeah. This will be my first spring.
Well, there's a badass little thing you got to go to. It's unfortunately, like all through college, it was the same time as finals. But it's in Memphis. You been to Memphis?
No.
Well, it's awesome. It's where Johnny Cash like recorded his first album. Elvis worked there.
I've driven through it.
So I got a little music festival on Beale Street called Memphis in May. So we got Jack White playing there. Queens of the Stone Age, Incubus.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Incubus the same day as the boxing show, dude. Oh. I'm sick. Alanis Morissette.
Everyone loves some Alanis.
Cake, The Flaming Lips, Ludacris, Third Eye Blind, Dashboard Confessional, Chevelle, Government Mule.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Clutch. Let's see. There's a ton of other people. I'm just like grabbing people I know. But yeah, it's going to be super legit. Corey's going to want to see Third Eye Blind. Maybe that's not the same as we've seen him several times. Third Eye Blind, May 4th, so it's Friday night. We might go do that. Anyway, yeah. So.
And your show's on Saturday.
Yeah. Sweet. Same day that Incubus plays. But at least I saw Incubus at the Red Rocks.
Yeah, you've already hit the pinnacle there.
I know, right? Let's move on. But I've seen Incubus a couple of times. I would love to see him again. They're awesome. Well, there's this crazy at the Red Rocks. they have this 2-part song, and I forget what it's called. But do you know what I'm talking about? And the second part's like down, 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 down. Brandon Boyd, the lead singer of Incubus. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Do you follow Incubus?
No.
Oh.
Like I liked them back in my like skateboarding days. They were cool, and then I like listened to them a little bit the past few years. Like
they had a couple of rough albums or whatever. But so like, imagine me at Red Rocks having the time of my life. And then at the end of this song, you see Brandon Boyd put that crazy mask on right there, dude. Do you see that with those horns? Yeah. I'm freaking out, losing my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. I could see.
Yeah, I totally, because like there's this song, I forget what the name of the song, I'm just spacing on it right now, but they have this 2-part song, and the first part's all like upbeat and uplifting, and then it just like kind of and then it just like, then they start playing this real dark ominous riff, and then he like, you see these eyes light up, and you see like and it's like, whoa, oh, what's going on down there? And he's like all crouched down. He looks like freaking something from like that foreign film Pan's Labyrinth. I don't know if you saw that, but it's crazy as fuck.
No. When you think of the name of that song, let me know. It sounds cool.
Yeah. Check it out. Well, shit, we'll throw it up on the YouTube. We can listen to it in our headphones while we talk about. Yeah, dude, I'm into Incubus. I keep like telling myself like, don't cancel the boxing show to go see Incubus in Memphis in May. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if Widespread Panic says they're coming on Saturday, we will not be having a boxing show this year, dude. Oh jeez. Oh man, I love Widespread Panic so much. Okay, let's see, Incubus. We'll find a good performance, a good live version. It is a good song. It's just like I said, it's kind of dark and ominous. Like, dude, Wish You Were Here, Stellar, Pardon Me, Dig, Warning. Oh, those are so good.
Yeah, some of the ones I listened to back in the day.
Yeah, those all are.
This is my favorite.
Older.
My favorite Incubus song. I think it's called Aqueous Transmission.
Oh, dude.
That song's
Let's
sick.
just give it a little bump in the center of the table, bro. Yeah, I love that song.
That's a sick song.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I am trying to find a playlist that has like their greatest hits album on it, because it's on there, dude. So many good songs. Dude, I might have to text my buddy Colby and be like, dude, what is the name? First thing that popped up was Aqueous Transmission on that search. Yeah, dude, I actually love doing yoga and stretching, listening to that song, or just like laying in like corpse pose. So good. Are You In? That's another good Incubus song. Alright, I just gotta look at their album for the track listing.
Is it an older song, or is it?
It's like a couple albums ago, because I think they've had 2 albums come out. That's what's good about Spotify, is I can just pull up all their albums. Did you see I got? I told you at class last night. The podcast got accepted to Spotify. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So that was super cool.
Dude, so where'd you get that drum from? Is that considered a drum?
Yeah. It's like a world percussion. It's definitely a percussion instrument. It's Promises, and In the Company of Wolves. That's what I thought it was.
What album is it?
Actually, it pulled up on the top tracks. It's on Essential Incubus, and then the album.
Okay, I see that.
So that came out, and then let's see. Before that, they had 2 live albums.
Promises, and In the Company
If Not
of
Now,
Wolves.
When, I think.
So it's the last 2 from.
No, okay, it's Defiance and In the Company of Wolves. It's not the same track listing, so we'll throw it up.
So confusing.
Yeah, so, Pink Floyd does stuff like that, multi-part songs.
That are actually like different songs?
Yeah, like for like concept albums and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
Isn't Tool kind of like that too?
Yeah, a little bit. Dude, I hope I get to meet Maynard in Dallas.
Y'all
A
gonna
perfect
train
circle.
together?
I mean, I don't know. That's
Don't get hip tossed by him.
Dude, I know. It's just like,
Don't get hip tossed and choked up. But if you do, make sure you celebrate it while you're down there.
yeah. Well, we watched that on the podcast the other day. I had somebody on that never seen it, and I'm like, "What? You've never
Check
seen
this
this?
shit out."
I can't believe it." Anyway, let me pull this up here. Yeah, this is super eerie Incubus song though. Dude, I love having so like I'm wanting to take my broadcasting up like a serious notch. Like I'm wanting to do multiple cameras mounted, like two more cameras mounted, and do like a have switching and stuff going on. And I'm kind of figuring out how to do it. It's not going to be super easy or super cheap.
For what though? What do you like? Multiple broadcasts? What are you talking about?
So like right now, the audience only sees this view.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so
like how
they,
Joe's will swap to person and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's several different ways of doing it. So like, see, this is all just a happy song. Now I was found. Yeah, it's good,
It's good.
Yeah. So we'll just see. We'll listen to this, and we're not going to get any copyright issues or anything because this is not recording. It's just in our ears, and the audience has to suffer right now. Yeah. So I always like it too. I bet there's like an Incubus fan that will be listening to this after I put it on the internet, and they're going to be like, "The name of the song is this, you idiots!"
Yeah.
For like 5 minutes. Like that happened one day. I was like, "What is the name of the second Da Vinci Code movie? What is it?" And it's like my buddy Dylan's like, "It's Angels and Demons. It's Angels and..." He like texts me about it. It's like, dude, it's called Angels and Demons. But like having the ability to do a live stream, and then also I'm trying to get set up to where like there's some guests like that are like I would consider higher profile that I could do a phone interview with, and I may do a few of those. I don't know. I wasn't wanting to do them originally, but I've had a couple of really awesome guests on so far, so I want to keep the momentum rolling. All the guests have been awesome, but like having like Jack on and the guy I just had on. I haven't put the audio up. There's a small issue with the audio when I first started recording. I got to go in and edit it. But Michael Sandow, Jerry Bruckheimer's nephew, he had some crazy stories, and then. Who else did I have on? That was Flavio, dude. That guy that rode a scooter from Brazil to freaking Alaska. That's an Ovunyao guy. So, yeah. But yeah, Hickson says you're Creonche if you don't stay with your coach. But I think if your coach doesn't, if you're trying to be the highest level MMA athlete in the world and they're not providing that resource, and that's what you need.
Yeah.
But it's like, do you swap teams or do you just outsource? And it's like, that's when people start getting their feelings hurt. And that's probably like a lot of like the personal relationships and people getting their feelings hurt with like Faber and those guys.
Well, look at Luke Rockhold going from AKA to what's Henry Hoof's gym? Whatever that one down there in Florida is. It's not Black Zillions anymore, but they split. Now they're whatever. But Luke Rockhold went from
they split.
Gym,
this shit goes on all the time.
To another one, yeah. But DC and all the guys at AKA, Khabib, Velasquez, none of them are mad at Luke Rockhold. They're just like, he just went to go try to get better. It's a big deal.
It kind of feels like this is.
And he even went to somewhere where they had his opponent was DC's opponent, Volkan Oezdemir is there.
It kind of feels like this is what happened with Justin Bucholz. Like, let's say, you're running the Saturday MMA class. Let's say you run it and build it up and start producing savages for like a couple of years, and then I'm like, hey Josh, I'm gonna need you to teach the kickboxing through the week, and I'm gonna put James, whoever James is the person I made up for the sake of this conversation. But James is going to teach your class now. He's been coming for a little while, and James moved in from out of state. James been to Thailand, and so he's going to be that guy now.
James better than you.
Yeah, you'd be like, dude, fuck James and fuck you too, man. I'm out. And you know
I don't
what?
think-
I wouldn't really blame
I wouldn't
you.
be like
it would
that. I don't
suck.
think. I'd be like, well, I mean, it is what it is.
And I would just be like, I'm just trying to get out of teaching class.
Yeah.
Which I'm not. But that is it. You know, it's like right now, Brent's teaching a bunch of stuff because he knows all these 10th planet moves. And it's like, I know a lot of them too. And like, he's probably like a purple belt level in jiu-jitsu or something like that. He is a blue belt.
Who are you talking about though?
Brent that teaches the Nogi classes on Monday, Wednesday right now. But it's like he has a specialty area in these moves. So I'm like, he's trained with Eddie Bravo. He's done all these seminars and trained for years. Been career military for 20 years, stationed in Germany, all this stuff. And so I'm like, yeah, dude, get out there and walk your dog. Like show. But it's like, I'm in the class too. Like he's doing the moves on me. It's like I'm not really ever trying to get out of being at the gym. You know, so that's another thing. Some coaches are just like,
when you come in an MMA class, then
I'm trying to let you do your thing. But I mean that is it too. It's like a lot of the day. I've been in town a couple of days and didn't come, but it's like I don't want to go in there and like argue with Cora because that might happen because she don't like to fucking listen to me.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, because we own the gym together, and I mean she does listen. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
like, I'm like mostly directly responsible for her upbringing. You know.
Yeah,
but
sure.
but there is like a layer of stubbornness that exists because of these other relationships that we have. Mm-hmm. It sucks most of the time, but it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
So. But that's like it's good that she gets to go do that, and like she trains with me mostly.
Yeah,
we'll work through the week, and she comes to my classes. That she gets to like just get somebody else's flavor, you know, another perspective. Sure. So that's why like I'm a fan of that. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like I wouldn't put a certain person in a certain spot if I didn't be like, yeah, no, they're capable of doing that, or like it's like with Brent, it's like, no, I've rolled with him. Like, I've talked with him. I did like, we drilled one-on-one a couple of times before he ever taught class. And just like, it's like, oh, no, dude's legit. Like,
yeah.
And everybody can get better at communication. That's why we started this MMA show. So we could sit down and get freaking, like, I just told somebody this today. It's like, when's the last time you sat down and had a 3-hour conversation with another human being?
It's been... Never.
I know, right? So I think that this and lecturing, like in my history classes, are both big time going to help with my coaching.
Yeah, I think it for sure. Because now it's weird to think about that actually. Like when you're a kid and stuff, or maybe when you're younger, you're hanging out with your friends and talking all the time. But now that like an adult and everyone's doing their own shit now, and we're all growing up, it's like you don't really talk to other people very often.
I know. Like it would, and too. So it's like like I have all these ideas and this podcast and these history things floating around my head and all this martial arts. And Cora does not want to hear about all that shit all the time. So like, imagine if I did previously.
I've been saturating Hannah for years with this MMA talk.
I know, right? So like previously, it just got to a point where Cora's like, yeah, I know. Yeah, you can't say idea for the rest of the day. It's 9 a.m. Because like I am always buzzing with ideas. But if I didn't have this podcast or lecture in history a few times a week, I don't know what I'd do with myself. Like I feel you. It is very. It brings things down a whole lot. So anyway, what? Let's see. We chatted about Jon Jones, Justin Bucholz, Stipe Cormier. Have you talked about that? Let's talk about it some more.
We talked about it the other day, and I felt like I brought up a really good point about something, but then I forgot what I said.
Don't say that it's Daniel's an undefeated heavyweight, because I
don't make comments like that.
That's not going to save him.
Yeah, I don't make.
Dude, here's what I think will be the most unfortunate thing. When Daniel loses, then his legacy is just going to suck. Like, he's going to have the Jon Jones and
his legacy will be awesome, win or lose.
Yeah,
you said it yourself
he'll be a paper champion.
He'll go out on his shield, though.
He will, but he'll be
what else do you want?
People will just remember the paper champion stuff.
No, they won't. They know he's fucking a monster, and He's done so many good things.
I mean, he just got to the game too late, man.
Roided out Jon Jones.
He got to the game too late.
Nah,
He did.
He's good. One of the best of all time.
He should have been fighting in the UFC when he was fighting in Bellator. It's super sad.
He's one of the most positive influence, like motivating, uplifting guys that probably the most that I've ever seen as an MMA fan.
I really did not like him arguing with Dominic Cruz the other night. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw parts of it, but now I forget whose stance was whose. Was Daniel saying the knee was...
Let's watch it. And here's what, like...
I think Dominic... Yeah, because Dominic's Jeremy Stevens' teammate. So he's saying there, oh, yeah, the knee didn't do anything. Oh, shut the fuck up, Dominic. He'd still hit him with an illegal knee.
Yeah, exactly. So...
And Dominic was arguing that the knee didn't even hit him. And I'm like, it looks like it hit him to me.
What'd you think of that Incubus song? Super sick,
It was cool,
right?
yeah, it was cool.
Super sick. See, I don't like the way that
DC's right.
I know, but the way he's communicating, just like when he gets in these shit talking contests with Jon Jones, wears me out. I can't stop. Like, what was that? The funny video Cormier was in where he's like got his shirt off and he's dancing.
The chicken one,
yeah.
the chicken and the donuts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny as shit.
It was.
Dude,
that's what I see in my head when
a fighter with zero physical gifts, like whatsoever, to do what he's done.
Yeah,
and everyone he's ever fought has been like better than him physically.
He used to have titties when he was in heavyweight.
He still kind of does.
Still kind of does, dude. Yeah. I know.
Love handles, titties.
I know.
Droopy skin everywhere. He's short. He's like an inch taller than me.
What is my buddy calls him? What is that guy's name? Carl from freaking Family Matters. You ever watch Family Matters as a kid? Freaking Steve Urkel, dude.
Before my time,
bro. We're the same age.
No, you're older than me.
Oh man.
I didn't have TV really when I was a kid, so I didn't get to see all these shows. I remember like Full House, and that was it.
I guarantee you, when I Google Carl from Family Matters and Daniel Cormier, that someone has already made what I'm wanting to show you. I'm just doing this on faith alone. Yep. Also, the cop in Die Hard.
Yeah.
Also, the cop from Die Hard.
I would have known that one. He does look like him.
Look at this one. Oh man.
Dominic's a really annoying shit talker himself.
Yeah, they both are. Like, I don't really.
I would want to punch the hell out of Dominic Cruz. He's
if
always
we
got
could
that
catch him,
smug,
if we could, I know, dude. Too, like Jon Jones had kind of a smug look on his face during that hearing. I was just like,
he always does. It's weird because he plays the everyone should feel so bad for me thing, but he still kind of looks smug at the same time.
Yeah.
Jon Jones did have one of the best moments ever with the "Hey pussy, you still there?"
Oh my god, dude.
That was one of my favorite MMA moments of all time.
Yeah.
And Daryl Cormier just
iconic, man. So good, so good.
I always want to say it in our microphone too. Felt good.
There you go. Right. I'm so glad I could facilitate on some level. Yeah. But so like, yeah, another thing I'm wanting to get is called a lavalier mic or a lavalier. It's like, you can pin it on your shirt and like, particularly for like, if I'm doing, solo stuff, like I'm trying to get set up to where like, I would like to have like a second little setup either in my office at the gym or at my office at Morrilton to film, and whether it's to do audio and or video. So if I end up mounting a couple more cameras in here, and I gotta redo this wall over here and get it looking like I want, and if I get something where I can, there's different ways I've seen them do it. Like I can't have someone in here pushing the button every time I do a podcast to switch the angle.
Yeah.
But if I get set up and there's a camera right here and I want that to be on me, it can come on when it's like my voice talks into the mic.
That'd be sick if you get a hook up like that.
I know.
It'd be sharp.
Yeah, but that I'm getting, like an external digital recorder, so I don't have to, like, right now I record the audio feed and upload it to iTunes on my Mac. But I'm excited to get through this podcasting masterclass. It's like 6 or 7 hours of material. I just I hadn't had a chance to. I was getting caught up on a bunch of other stuff today. I hadn't had a chance to dig into it, but I'm gonna watch probably the first couple episodes. I started watching it in my office at the university, but like I got to get some speakers in there. Dude, I have this huge ass office with these big ass bookcases and like nothing in it.
Oh man. Gotta fill it out and make it look sick.
I know. I'm actually that I'm gonna be probably getting a full-time position there. Nice. And that just means like I gotta be there somewhere around like 20 hours a week. So, but it'll be teaching the class I'm teaching right now, probably a couple online classes, and probably U.S. History 2, which, yes.
Sweet.
I can just rock some U.S. History 2, like tomorrow if I had to. But like right now, the stuff I'm doing, 1500 to present, it's just like back and forth.
I'm still trying to make my office look cool.
Yeah, you got your own office,
now.
huh? Is it a cubicle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some. My book collection is growing.
I don't even have a stapler, dude.
Oh man, I got office supplies out the ass. I just don't.
I don't even know where the office supplies are, and I keep forgetting. I need to go check my mail. I have a mailbox downstairs. I need to do that next time I go to class.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
I'm trying to like draw my own or paint my own badass picture and hang it in there, like some cool like reactor abstract kind of thing.
Oh, cool. So, did you watch Dark on Netflix?
Nah,
dude, you better watch it.
It's talking about it all the time back when you guys were watching it.
It's about.
I've thought about like every time I get on Netflix, I'm like scrolling for what seems like hours and hours trying to look for something new to watch.
Ozark.
I'm like I watched that. That was
Ozark's badass.
Ozark was sick. I started watching Everything Sucks. That's really good.
Yeah.
That hooked me with the trailer that came out with all the 90s music. Or it was the Cranberry song, actually, right? It was a Cranberry song. And I was like, yeah, for real. And I was like, shit, I got to watch that. Because, I mean, you can't after you see that. And then all the 90s music. It's really cool. I think we're like almost 3/4 of the way done with that.
Yeah.
Sweet show. I tried to watch that. Hold on, am I thinking of the right? Yeah, Everything Sucks is the 90s one, right?
Yeah,
it's the end of the fucking world is the other one.
Yeah. I started watching that one.
Yeah. I can get into that.
It's pretty out there. I got all the way to the last episode and then stopped. I don't know why. I guess you can go back and watch it. It's only like 20 minutes.
Stopped at the last episode.
Yeah, man, it's cool to live in the time that we live in and be able to stream all our shit.
Have you ever seen Samsara? Or oh shit.
No.
It's like 10 years of people traveling the world with like the most badass, like kind of like you've seen Planet Earth like too.
Yeah.
Like the most badass cameras ever, but it's like instead of just like nature and shit, it's like different. It's everything about like the human race. So like you see like temples in the jungles and like all these like Tibetan monks and shit, and they're in Thailand and India, like in all these like sacred like badass places. Then they'll do some nature like in the mountains and stuff. It looks fucking awesome. See, the Bakara came out, I think, in like 93 or something, and Samsara came out in like 2013. So it's like the same thing but new version.
Oh, I have to look into that. Is it streaming awesome on Netflix?
No, that's the thing. I can't. Bakara you can buy on Amazon Video. That's the old one, which is still cool. But Samsara I can't find anywhere. Like I would pay money, like a good bit of money to get that shit, especially on like 4K or something.
Look at this shit, dude.
That's pretty damn crazy looking.
Do you know what that is?
A harpy eagle?
Well, yeah. A harpy eagle. What the hell?
I wouldn't have known.
It's a mythological creature from ancient Greece. I just saw a picture of one yesterday, and like, dude, they are the most beautiful. Like, I saw it, and I was like, what the hell is that thing? Some sort of weird falcon with bunny ears? Like, I've never seen a bird like it. But I think it could have been Joe Rogan that shared it, but I shared it because somebody shared it on Facebook. But yeah, and then I've just been like looking them up and reading about them ever since. Yeah, look at that thing, dude.
fucking huge.
So here's this, like, there is a broadcasting system available. So, like, see, I just have to keep showing you this picture. So, like, for the YouTube production side, like, anything I pull up on the Mac would go up on the, like,
Yeah, I know.
otherwise, like, and I've been avoiding doing this stuff. So if the audience on YouTube is listening, like, editing that in after the fact is a nightmare. Like, I'm busy, I'm busy dude, you know, and I don't have somebody else in the room, so, like, whatever system I go with is going to be contingent on, like, being able to do some sort of, like, a voice activation for, or something simple. I don't have it figured out yet.
You're not, or do you consider yourself good at video editing, or is
I have a lot of time editing in Adobe and in iMovie both. Like, I have 1,000 hours in Adobe.
You have nice YouTube videos, right, for you do for, like, the gym and stuff, where you show moves.
And those are getting better too.
But they're like, you know, they're not like cuts of different stuff. And then like music going in and out.
And I've done some of those, but not like a whole ton. And I had those edited for me because, dude, editing takes forever. Have you ever done any video editing?
No, but Hannah's trying to do it right now. We're trying to put together like a video of, like, say, like our trip to Fort Worth last weekend.
Yeah.
Like a video of that. And she said she's having a lot of trouble with it. And
what program are you using?
She was trying to use DaVinci or something like that. Not familiar. I looked it up and, like, on Reddit and everything. Everyone's saying this is the best free program you can get.
Interesting.
And she said she tried it, but was having a lot of trouble.
Do you have
with
a Mac?
We have a Windows computer and an Apple computer.
Yeah, because, I mean, dude, iMovie comes.
She's using a Windows computer to do it, but I have a Mac, I think, just like this one. Yeah.
See, like, I want to get I thought about building a computer just for the podcast.
Yeah, also, she said that, and I saw it when she was doing the edit, and she had, like, a rough draft of it. It was, like, really, like, it seemed like a computer wasn't able to, like, handle it. Like, it was too much. Have you had problems with, like, editing videos? And
sometimes when I'm trying to upload a 3-hour podcast to YouTube, it's a son of a bitch.
I don't know if the computer doesn't have enough processing power, if that's the issue, but I have a Surface Pro 3, which is, like, it has an i7 in it.
Dude, Bill Gates is trying to take over the world and control the population, bro. We can't buy his computers. That's going to be Sunday's episode. I'm going to be talking about crisis actors and shit.
Me and Bill Gates have the same personality type.
Interesting. It would be good if you lost money if you stopped to pick it up. Have you heard that? I've always heard that about Bill Gates. Like, that he makes so much money per, like, minute or second or whatever at, like, the time that this was going around, that if he stopped to pick up $100, he theoretically loses money. Like, that's what I always heard when I was a kid. It's like, Bill Gates is so rich he could stop and pick up like $300 and it wouldn't be worth his time.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah. Steve Jobs.
No money, more problems.
Yeah. So, yeah, dude, we'll appreciate you coming on, and we'll have to,
no
when with some crazy articles swirling around in the interwebs, we'll have to reconvene for another episode. When are you going on outage?
March 24th.
March 24th. That's the day I'm getting promoted. Yeah. Right on. We'll so, like, and how long does that last for?
It's supposed to be a month or so.
I'll look at the boxing schedule too, so I need to double check my schedule and see. Hopefully I'll be in town for most of those days and can cover that class.
Yeah, I should be able to.
Oh yeah, you were saying you might be able to move your schedule around a little bit. That'd be bitching.
Yeah, I'm with one other guy on day shift, and he said he wants either Tuesday or Sunday off, so that leaves every other day open for me. So I'm like, sweet. I want Saturday then. So
what do you have off right now? Like Friday, Saturday?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday usually.
Bitchin'. 3-day weekend, bro. That's so good.
That's awesome.
Do you work out at a gym here in town?
I still go to Proving Grounds just with the shoulder and everything.
Yeah.
It hadn't been working out too well for me.
Yeah. But, damn, bro. How's that feeling?
Not good. Not good at all. But I'm going to open mat today. I'm going to roll and just deal with it.
Dude, I thought about seeing if you wanted to roll when you came over here because I have a mat. And it's so damn nice outside, and I have a deck.
Really? That's sick. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I have more mats out in the shed, too. I have enough mats to, like, seriously mat out my day, so I can have the deck behind the house this big.
We'll see. I talked to Damon, so he said he'll be there, and I'm gonna try to go work on some.
Dude, that was
MMA
another
grappling.
thing I didn't tell you. Like coming back off that, because when I broke my collarbone, coming back off that injury, I was very careful about who I rolled with coming back. And what I like, because I remember that one night you came in, we did those crazy fucking rubber guard double arm bars, and that was it. Like, because remember how like I was like pulling your shoulders back, like opening your sternum up. You should hit that yoga wheel before you leave too, because like that has been so therapeutic, and I've carried so much tension and like these bicep tendons, particularly on this side that I broke my collarbone on since. Like I've had to get this worked on multiple times. And it's just links in the chain type deal.
Yeah, for sure. I noticed that like the back side of my rotator cuff is always like knotting up, and it starts to hurt, and you can feel like little knots in there.
Our massage guy is going to be back in this week.
Who's the massage guy?
He was on a couple of the podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
Hickson episode with me, but
I rolled with him like one time.
Yeah, super tall.
Yeah, I don't know who he is. I don't know him.
He might could work, dude. He's worked on me for couple of years now, I guess. And
yeah, Micah said he was good.
Yeah, he works on a lot of folks at the gym. So yeah, well, most excellent, dude. So you're hitting open mat?
Yeah,
excellent. I'm gonna be there at some point. I gotta do a couple more things around the house and run to the store after open mat. So right on, dude. Well, I guess I'll be in the gym at 10 working with Tim before MMA. Damon did jack his hand up a little bit. Actually, it wasn't his hand. I thought it was his hand, but
Dude's turning out like me.
He got kicked in the elbow, and like super effed up his arm. Like it was like cramped up. It was like just a nerve. Like I think he got kicked like in the ulnar nerve somehow. Mm-hmm. But it was all knotted up, and I've got him icing it and Epsom salt in his elbow. I don't think it's like I told him. I'm like, dude, I think he's coming to open mat too. Judah is going to be out of town tomorrow though.
Okay, but I did message him too. And
he got 6 3-minute rounds of sparring in today.
With who?
2 rounds with me, 2 rounds with Damone, and 2 rounds with Harvey.
Damone.
I know, what a great gangster name. Damone.
I like it.
Talking about him on the podcast. Let's see, like I'll mention people on the podcast, and I'll see them be like, hey, I mentioned you on the podcast, and then they'll go like listen to it, and then they listen to the wrong one. And they're like, I didn't hear anything. I'm like, that's the wrong one. Trying to get those listens, bro.
Yeah.
On Spotify and shit. Do you use Google Play? Did I ask you that?
No, I don't mess with Google Play for anything.
Do you think I should put the podcast on Google Play?
Nah, dude.
Like several people told me that.
No one use Google Play. That's like Android phone.
Why can't I just automatically get it on Google Play because it's on YouTube?
You should.
I know, right? Like, once I put it into this Podbean, it automatically goes out on any form of social media I want: iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify. That's why I've been like working on getting all the thumbnails done for all the old episodes.
Yeah. I listen to podcasts on YouTube or what do you call it? Like the podcast app.
That's the Apple iTunes podcast app or whatever it is. Dude, I've been on a big Theo Von kick this week. You know who Theo Von is?
No.
You gotta look into that dude. He's been on Church of What's Happening Now and Joe Rogan several times. He's a stand-up comedian from Louisiana. And when him and Joey Diaz get together and start sharing all the stories about doing cocaine, it is too much, bro. I've been like, I don't really watch Joey Diaz's podcast very much, but dude, I've been watching it.
Joey Diaz is the man.
Yeah, dude, like go watch him eating all the and all of his guests, feeding his guests stars of death. Those edibles, so like, but they're like 500 milligram edibles.
Okay.
So he's just like, and he throws like 4 of them. He's like, but like he gave some to like Pauly Shore and like all these different guests. Like one was, have you seen Church of What's Happening Now?
So that's Joey Diaz's
That's
podcast?
Joey Diaz. So
yeah, no, I haven't watched just him on Joe Rogan's.
Lee Syatt is this guy, and like Dylan from the gym cannot stand his voice, but before we wrap it up, I got to show you this. It's Lee Syatt on Stars of Death during their podcast, and dude, it is the funniest shit I have ever seen. I'm gonna throw it up on the TV. Yeah, it is. Come on now. Well, that's not it. The name of this video is Lee Syatt in Outer Space. This guy looks like this. This. Look, look at it, dude. Oh, Lee Syatt in Outer Space. Look at him. He's like, it does sound good. Let me put this on. Oh my god. Oh, yeah. See, like, he's their producer. He's supposed to be switching the cameras and shit, and he left the camera on him.
Jeez.
So this happens to people on Joey Diaz's podcast all the time.
Makes sense.
And he just like throwing them in.
I can't believe no one's like noticing, talking shit on.
See, I saw this on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan pulled this video up on his podcast and just like this, and was like, that's how I found out about it. And he's like, look at Lee Syatt, because Lee Syatt's been on with Joey Diaz. Yes. But Joey Diaz, like, you see somebody like throw popcorn or like nuts in their mouth or something, just like toss them in one at a time. He does that, dude. He's like, and he's like talking about having crazy anxiety attacks from eating too many. Oh, dude. Well, right on, bro. Well, let's go ahead and sign off. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time. Yeah, I am having a guy over that's like a super conservative, like Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson type dude on Sunday. He's not super conservative, but we're going to talk about crisis actors and crazy Alex Jones shit. It's going to be great.
Alex Jones, who's the... That sounded familiar.
InfoWars, remember he was on Joe Rogan episode 911 with Eddie Bravo?
Can't say I remember.
It was only because it was episode 911 that I remember. But it was the most listened to podcast of all time.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was banned on like a couple of different...
Are you friends with this dude coming? Or you don't really know him or what?
Oh, yeah, no, it's Michael Lassiter from the gym, actually. Do you know him? He's a savage. He's about to get a blue belt, but he's a total savage. He taps blue and purple belts whenever he wants.
Man, I want to start coming to gi.
Gotta get that shoulder, dude.
Yeah. It's happening.
Yeah, I was telling
I'm about to get on that
like,
good,
dude,
so.
That's like, you know, like when you strike, you like curl your shoulders in and shit, and that's what was hard on me with this too.
Yeah, since I've been staying for like 2 hours a day, I go to like fitness kickboxing and kickboxing, or boxing and then fitness kickboxing. By like that last like 30 to 45 minutes, it's like I start to die down, and I'm like, because when I hit in the bag and stuff, yeah, it's a dull ache, and it just like kills my whole mood too. And then when I'm like sparring and stuff, and it's starting to do that dull ache, it's like my whole body like just shuts down, and I start, because normally I like to dance a little bit, but normally and then I start feeling that dull ache, and then I get like flat-footed.
Dude, like, judo kicked me in the balls so hard today.
Some dude that then, I don't know who it was, the dude uppercutted me straight in the nuts, like perfect like uppercut.
Was it that tiny kid?
No, it was the
Rudy?
big dude with the white gloves. I'd never seen him before. It was just yesterday, right? Boxing yesterday, yeah.
Harvey. Yeah, that's the guy who came in today. Yeah, he's turned up a little bit over the years. He always has like a traveling job.
Yeah, he was on super low, and I've never seen such a blatant. I know he didn't mean to.
I want to say I saw that.
Yeah, it was like just straight up uppercut to the balls, like not a glancing blow or anything. It was just straight there.
That's why you hear him saying, I mean, it happens in boxing.
It was like so square on, it didn't even really hurt that bad, because like the force of it,
probably more like a dick punch.
Yeah, it was the force of it just equally got dispersed everywhere, rather than like nick it on the side or something.
Dude, is that a fucking pager?
Hell yeah, it's a pager.
Do we need to turn this shit back on? Luckily, this is still recording. Like, I haven't seen one of these.
Yeah, I get this all the time. We keep these for work because...
Dude, I didn't even know that still existed.
Yeah, pretty much everyone...
Why don't they just call you?
I mean, I guess... I don't really know. I mean, I guess my theory is if you didn't have a cell phone, that you don't have an excuse.
That is unique, yeah.
Or the fact that if someone played the card like, I don't have a phone, so you have to either give me one if you want me to be on call, like that kind of thing. But they don't want to spend the money to get everyone's cell phones, so they get everyone pagers.
See, is that through like Verizon or?
I think it's American. I think American Messaging is the I think pagers have their own little world of networks.
Crazy.
But yeah, if you're on ERO duty or emergency response organization, you have to have a pager. And I'm actually on duty this week, so like if something were to go down at the plant, I get a page and gotta show up.
Have you been called out before?
I actually just got qualified this week, so
Oh,
like 2 days ago. So now I'm officially on. But yeah, I'll be saving everyone's ass if shit hits the fan at the plant.
So what kind of engineer are you at the plant again? Like what do you?
I'm a reactor engineer,
Okay.
so I do anything reactor core related.
Crazy.
Coolest of all engineers.
So you're like Dr. Manhattan.
I don't know who that is.
The Watchman, bro.
I did actually see the movie The Watchmen,
He was the
but it's
dude
been
with
a
the
while.
penis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been a while. I watched it like when it came out, so that shit was
Yeah.
a long ass time ago.
Yeah. He's had his penis hanging out.
Was he's a nuclear engineer or something?
He was, and then he like got like eaten by the reactor or something. Became Dr. Manhattan.
Oh,
So he
okay.
became the crazy, all-knowing dude with the thing in his forehead.
Shit, maybe that'll happen to me.
I know, that's what I was
Sick.
hoping. You know, you can wear pants if you want to. It's not a big deal.